So, the wizard's behaviors and movements are set. Now we can enter into the most exciting part in the making of the whole game. And that is the addition of magical objects and challenging obstacles in the path of the wizard. So let's add them and make our game more interesting. Well, the basic idea is simple, buddy. We will insert the objects to our game scene. The objects include good ones and evil ones. So we will set the events as the wizard will collect the good ones and avoid the evil forces. And if the wizard touches one of the evil objects, yes, you know, it's game over. Curious to know which are these objects? Let's add them one by one and break the suspense. So to add them to the game scene, let's go to the game scene from the game events. So click on the game tab to access the game scene. There it is. Now move the cursor to the object tab and click on add a new object to add a first object. Then choose the sprite option and set the name of the object as object 1. And click on add an animation. Then on add. And let's set our primary object now. So the first object is none other than the golden snitch. Yes, if you are a Potterhead, you will definitely be familiar with the golden snitch. Yes, let's add the golden snitch now. Then let me go to downloads and select the golden snitch which I have already saved. Now click on open and hit OK in the dialog box. Then click on apply. Now we can add the second object. Can you guess what is the second object? A ghost. Yes, evil is coming to the house. So to add the ghost, click on add a new object from the object tab. Then click on the sprite option and set the object name as object 2. Now click on add an animation and click on add to insert the ghost. So rush to the downloads and select the ghost. Yes, we got it. Now click on open and choose OK in the dialog box. Then click on apply. Over to add the third object now. So what will it be? Wait and see. First move to the cursor to the object tab and click on add a new object. Choose the sprite option and set the object name as object 3. Then click on add an animation and then on add. Now go to the downloads and what should we do? I still haven't said a word about the third object, right? Alright buddy, this object is a magic ball. Yes, a ball with a lot of superpowers. So now select the magic ball animation from the downloads and click on open. Then choose OK in the dialog window and click on apply. Good. Now to the fourth object, which is an evil bat, another obstacle keen to attack the wizard. So to add the bat, click on add a new object from the object tab. Then choose the much familiar sprite option and set the object name as object 4. Now click on add an animation and then on add. Then from the downloads, select bat and click on open. Finally, don't forget to hit OK in the dialog box and then click on apply. That's it. Okay buddy, one more to go. So the final object is the magic stick, which is very essential for a wizard. Then shall we add that? Indeed my friend, and you know the drill, right? Move the cursor to the object tab and click on add a new object. Then select the sprite option and assign the object name as object 5. click on Add an Animation and take the Add option. Then from the Downloads, select the magic stick and click on Open. Finally, hit OK in the next window and click on Apply. There, it's done. Now we have added 5 objects to 𝗙𝗴𝗲𝗲. Now what should we do? Yes, let's group these objects together. By grouping the objects together, we can also add conditions and also actions to the movements for the entire group rather than adding it for individual objects. Thus, grouping helps us make events that apply for the entire group rather than making individual events. So, we can also improve the quality and performance of our game. So, to group them, move the cursor to the tools at the top right and click on Open the Object Group Editor icon. There it is. We have the Object Groups tab open besides the Object tab now. Let's create a group to 𝗙𝗲𝗲 5 objects. Then click on Click to add a group. Good, the group is generated and let's now pick the options of the group and select the Rename option to set the name of the group. Assign the group name as Objects for our expediency. And then press the Enter key. Now click on our new Objects group to add our objects into it. Click on Choose an Object to add to the group in the new window and select Object 1, the golden snitch, as the first object. Now let's add the remaining objects to the group in the same fashion. So click on Choose an Object to add to the group again and select the Object 2. Then add the Object 3 to our group following the same step. Quite simple, right? So click on Choose an Object to add to the group again and choose Object 4. And finally, click on the same option once more and select Object 5. Then click on Apply. And we have now grouped all the 5 objects as the group named Objects. As the grouping is done, let's close the Object tab by clicking at the cross mark for now and move on to add the events for the objects in our group. So, click on Game Events tab initially to access the Events window. Now click on Add a new event and click on Add Condition. So, which is the first condition that we want to add? It's the timer condition. We have to give specific intervals for each of the objects in the group to come down to the game scene, right? So search timer in the search bar and choose the value of a scene timer condition from the search results. Then from the right side, let's see the time in seconds option. This option is to determine the interval between the fall of each object. So let's set the time in seconds as 0.8 seconds and give the timer's name as wait. So remember that name as we have to use it later. Alright, now click on OK. Did you know that golden snitch was actually a ball used in an old game called Quidditch? Yes, it was a walnut-sized golden ball with silver wings. The game was to catch the golden snitch after it was flown before the other team's seeker snatched it. Later, golden snitch was popularized by the Harry Potter series, as you know. We can now move on to add the action to create the objects that will spawn into the game scene. We still haven't added our object group name anywhere into the events part, right? So yes, let's do it. Click on Add Action and search Create in the search box. From the search results, choose the Create an Object from its name action. Using this action, we can introduce the objects in our group to game scene. So from the right side, choose the object as the objects group which is seen way below the list of objects. In the name of objects to create option, we can code the required group into the game events. So type objects first. Now we want to add and make the 5 objects fall in their respective orders, right? So type +2 after object and choose toString number from the options. Then click inside the open brackets of the toString function and type random. Now select the function random in range within brackets number comma number from the list of functions, as we have to make the objects fall in random. Now click inside the brackets of the random in range and insert it as 1, 5. This is exactly because we want to create the 5 objects ranging from the object 1 to object 5 in the random using this action. So the name of the object to create has become object plus toString within brackets random in range 1, 5. Our objects will now fall in the correct order according to this function. Fine. Now let's set the common x and y positions for the object in the group. You know that the object should be coming down from the sides and above the game scene. For this, we have to adjust the object's x position and y position. So click on the x position option and type random. Then choose the random in range number comma number function. Now click inside the brackets and set the value as 300, 1500. Got the idea? The objects in the group will now spell down from random x positions in the range from 300 to 1500. Simple logic, right? Of course. So now we can set the y position from the objects. The objects have to come from outside and above the game scene, right? So let's give the y position as -200 to facilitate that. Alright, the action is set now. So click on OK and let's move on to the next step now. So now what is the next step? We have added 5 objects in the Object tab, but there is a chance that all the 5 objects may appear in different sizes in our game scene. But don't worry, let's add an action set to a common size for different objects in the group. First, click on Add Action in the same event and search with the keyword Scale. Select the Scale action from the results and choose the object as Objects Group. Set the operator as set2 and the value of the scale as 0.3. Then click on OK and that's it. Now we have already set the condition for the timer for the objects in the group, but we haven't added the corresponding action for that. And yes, let's add that now. So click on Add Action and search timer in the search box. Then select the action Start or Reset as Scene Timer. From the right side, let's give the timer's name. What was the name of the timer? Yes, Wait. So set the timer's name as Wait and click on OK. We have always seen the wizard depicted as a man with long flowing beards and wearing a large brimmed hat, a thick mantle and holding a wand. But did you know where this imagination came from? Well, it comes from the Norse mythology. There was a character named Odin the Wanderer in the Norse mythology who dressed in this fashion to go through places unnoticed by others. Now we are about to add a new event. And the purpose of this event is to add the condition and action for initiation of the action of spalling the objects down. So, click on Add a New Event and choose Add Action. We want to add the action for a force to act on the objects to make them come down. any object will only move if we insert a force into it. So search force in the search bar and select the add a force, angle action from the search results. Now choose the object as objects. Then set the angle as 90 as we want to make the objects fall down straightly from outside the game scene. Now to adjust the speed of the objects, click on the speed option and set it to 500 pixels per second. Below the speed option, we have the choice to set whether the force has to be instant or permanent. As the force in this instance has to be instantaneous, let's keep it as instant and no further changes, and then click OK. Alright, the objects will fall straight down outside the game scene. But once it enters the game scene, we want to make it move in a rotating movement. It will look so dull if it just keeps falling straight down. But don't worry, let's make the movement more dynamic. So how do we add the action for this angular rotating motion? Click on Add Action and search Rotate in the search option. Then choose the Rotate action and set the object as Objects. Now click on the Angular Speed option and assign it as 20 degrees per second. And finally click on OK. And guess what? We are done. The events for the group of objects are all set. So you know what's coming up next. Yes, the preview. So click on the play button to display the preview window. Yes, our objects are now spalling down from random positions in the correct time interval we set for them. Also, the angular rotation is intact. But hey, be careful not to make contact with any of those evil objects. Oh, sorry, nothing will happen if we touch them right now because we still haven't set the conditions for those events. So let's make the good objects, the golden snitch, magic ball and the magic stick collectible and rewarding. And yes, you said it. We also want to set the events to end the game if the wizard touches those evil creatures, the ghost and the bat. This game is only getting bigger and better. Well done, buddy.